There is a man on a crane outside of my window because he's doing construction, and I've had to redo this intro like 3 times and we keep making eye contact. So let's hope this is the take that makes it. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my Q1 reading wrap up. I feel like time has been flying by because how are we already in April? It's just crazy. In January through March, I read 14 books. I only have 5 physical copies of the books. So I read because I mainly read on my Kindle in the library, which I'm super proud of because that was one of my goals this year. The stack looks small, but I read 14 books. I will also be telling you all my April TBR at the end of this video. I'm already bad with filming monthly wrap-ups anyway, so I decided that I'm just gonna go by quarters, 3 months at a time. I will just be going in order of what I read. If you do not like negative reviews, I would click off this video because there will be some negative reviews. So the first book is Middle of the Night. I checked it out from the library. It's by Riley Sager and it's an adult thriller. I gave it a whopping 2 stars. Let's talk about it. It follows a man named Ethan. He is 40 years old. 30 years ago, his best friend Billy went missing in his backyard in the tent that they were camping in. They would do that every single Friday night. This day, Ethan and Billy had been arguing, but they still decided to have their sleepover. When Ethan wakes up, Billy is gone and there's just a slash in his tent, and that is the last anyone hears of Billy, hears or sees of Billy. There's no trace of what happened to him. This has haunted Ethan for years. He feels bad because they were arguing that day. He does not remember anything, does not remember hearing anything of that night, so he partly blames himself for what happened. Now it's present day. Ethan is living in his childhood home. His parents moved to Florida because they retired, and they gave him that house because he was struggling financially. I'm not sure why they did this because this man is very not mentally okay, especially with this situation. I do not think it was a good idea at all for him to go back to this house. Ironically, so at the same time, he's here and 3 people he knew during his childhood are here. What's important about this is these 4 people, Ethan included, were with Billy the day before he went missing. Now that they're all together, again, a strange thing happens and Billy's remains are found. So this goes from a missing persons case to a murder mystery. Ethan has eyes on everybody. He doesn't trust anyone because he is just thinking, after all these years, we've had no evidence of anything that happened. Now that we're all back in town, back in the same town, the same neighborhood, Hemlock Circle, his remains are found. He's not having it. He is determined to get to the bottom of it. I did not like this story because I felt it was very repetitive. Ethan is just, I did not like being in Ethan's head. He has a dream of the night where Billy went missing, but it's a recurring dream. So you read about that dream, I feel like minimum 15 times. And I was just tired of reliving that. And then the huge plot twist, you lost me there, 2 stars. Then I read Meet the Parents by Emily Shiner. This is about a girl named Gina. Whenever she was younger, her aunt, who was basically like her mom, was murdered in front of her, but nobody knew she saw her aunt get murdered. The guy actually got away with it. She's convinced that her now fiance, his dad, is the one that murdered her aunt. She infiltrated this whole plan to find Owen, make Owen fall in love with her so that she could meet his dad and get her revenge on his dad. Owen has no idea any of this is happening. To her knowledge, she's not sure what he knows about her aunt's murder, but he has never said anything that gave away that he knew what happened. She really wants to get to the bottom of this. Like I said, she had the plan, she needed the platform. So she got Owen to fall in love with her. She found out where he worked, started working there, and now they're engaged. They go meet Owen's parents. Right off the bat, Owen's mom is crazy. She does not like Gina, and she knows something is up with Gina. And Owen's dad is also weird, but he's more quiet and not outwardly weird. He's just like, you can tell something's off though. This is actually a setup for one of my favorite types of thrillers, which is a domestic thriller where you don't know who's crazy. But when you spend the whole book basically saying this one person is so normal, you figure out who the crazy one is. And I could pretty much tell, so I knew the plot twist was coming from far away. Also did not like the writing style. I felt it was not for me. And Marta is so stinking annoying. It was dual POV, so it was Jenna and Marta's POV, and Marta, girl, I can't. She's one of those weird moms that's like overly obsessed with her son and thinks that her son is supposed to marry her or something. I don't know. Then I read This Is Why We Lied by Karen Slaughter, and I rated this 4 stars. It's another adult thriller. This is about a man named Will Trent. Also did not know it was the 12th book in the series. I didn't know it was a series, but it's about a man named Will Trent. He is on a honeymoon with his wife. They go to this campground. He came from a pretty rough background. He lived in group homes when he was younger, but now he is a detective, and his wife is a medical examiner. So they were the perfect people to be at this campground whenever a lady named Mercy is murdered. What you need to know about Mercy is no one in her family liked her. She was the black sheep of the family, the problem child. Her dad was abusive. Her mom turned her head to the abuse, pretended it didn't happen. Her and her brother, they're kind of close, but like, I don't know. I feel like the trauma makes it hard for her to be close to her brother, who they call Fish Topper. His name's Christopher. She She is back and forth with her ex-husband, who is abusive, Dave. But even though Dave is abusive to her, no one seems to care in her family. Her mom actually praises Dave and treats Dave like he's gold. At this campground, it's a very small campground. There's not a lot of visitors there, and then her whole family's there because it's a family-run business, Mercy's family. And she's murdered. It is going to be a hard case to solve because, like I said, she's not well liked by her family. They're all pretty odd and violent, but all eyes are on Dave because he was abusive to her. Will and Sarah, they're the ones that solved this case because no one was being helpful, so it's pretty much just up to them to get justice for Mercy. And I love this book. I really felt for Mercy. It just seemed like she wanted so much more than she got out of life, but she just still did everything she could for her son. She tried, and I just felt like she was dealt the worst hand of cards. Her family is awful, but I love that book, and I definitely plan on reading more Karen Slaughter. I actually have on hand I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Ann Liang. This is a YA romance. It's about Sadie. She is a senior in high school, and she is the top of her class, but she has one person who they're always head to head, and that is this guy right here, Julius Gong. She thinks Julius's life is so perfect, and she's jealous because her life isn't perfect. Her mom owns a bakery. Her dad left when they were younger, and she thinks that her dad left because of her. The day that her dad left, there was a huge argument going on between her parents that she overheard, and she told her dad to leave, and he did. Obviously, that had nothing to do with Sadie. It was her parents' problems, but since then, he's had no contact with her mom or her brother. He decided to leave the whole family, not just the mom, which is terrible, and Sadie blames herself. So she works really hard in school to be the best of the best so that she can get a good job, go to college, and help her mom out. Just say thank you for sacrificing all the things she did over the years. And her brother, he is really good at basketball, and that's what he focuses on in college, but she's like, basketball, you know, it's a gamble whether or not you'll be successful at it because, you know, obviously very competitive. I love Sadie. I really do. She thinks Julius hates her. That is what she's convinced of. When Sadie is upset, she writes an email to someone. She doesn't send it to him, but she keeps it in the draft. It's a way to get her feelings out, kind of like a diary. And one day, all the emails she wrote were accidentally sent out. So Julius sees just how much Sadie writes about him. Julius got the most emails out of everybody, but teachers, other students got all these emails that Sadie wrote whenever she was upset, and now everyone is upset with her. Julius and Sadie are co-captains of their senior class. The principal hears of this, and he wants to put a stop to all the rumors going around about co-captains not liking each other, so he forces them to work together so that the school can see that they do get along. There's nothing wrong, so she's forced to work with her academic rival, and it's a cute little story, and I loved it so much. What I really liked about this book is that Sadie realized that one, her mom doesn't even want her to be perfect, and two, she doesn't have to be. Mom just wanted her to be a kid and enjoy life, and I love that she finally realized that. Julius is the sweetest ever. They such cute couples. I loved it. Then I read The Crash by Freida McFadden. This is an adult thriller. If you read Freida McFadden, you know her books are quick, easy to get into, easy to read, easy to love. I did not love this one. This is about a girl. She's pregnant by a man who she found out was married later on, so they decide to go separate ways, and he offers her a bunch of money to basically keep quiet about him being the dad because he's married. She decides to take the money, but something happens between them two, and she's like, I'm not taking the money. I don't want anything from you. So she is raising this baby on her own. She's heavily pregnant and decides to visit her brother because her brother is all she has. Her parents have passed away, and her brother kind of took on that parental role for her, so he's like a father figure. They're not close by, but he says, you know, come stay here the rest of your pregnancy. Stay as long as you want. I know this is a hard time for you. So she decides to visit him during the middle of the snowstorm, and she waited so long to leave, so it's basically a blizzard at this point. She crashes her car while pregnant. A random man finds her, is helping her out, and instead of taking her to the hospital, he takes her to his house. You'll have to pick up the book and read to find out what happens after that. This book frustrated me so much. In the very ending, I'm like, no, you did not do that to that character. No. I read The Gift by Freida McFadden. I didn't rate this. It's a short story about a woman who, her husband is in law school. So while he's in school, she is working overtime to make up because he's not working anymore. But she wants to get him a Christmas gift because it's Christmas time, but she doesn't have a lot of extra money because everything's going towards bills. So she decides to cut her hair in payment for a gift for him, shaves her whole head. He did not appreciate that gesture. The wife didn't appreciate that. He didn't appreciate it. It's a short story. I was kind of like, wow, okay. So read, I don't even know if I recommend that one. Read at your own risk. Then I read The Apartment Across the Hall. This is an adult thriller. I didn't like this at all. I gave it 2 stars. The FMC, she was just so just dumb. She moved into this apartment, not safe apartment, but it's all she could afford. Her best friend, he helped her move in. She is very wary of her neighbor across the hall because she constantly sees him covered in blood. He's very secretive. Women go into his apartment, they never leave. And she decides to sneak into his apartment one day. She snuck into this man's apartment, this obvious murderer's apartment. And she just makes a lot of very naive, dumb decisions, and she's very suspicious. She cannot not be suspicious. She is very much like, I'm on to you, like I know what's going on, and just she could not keep a cover to save her life. Another Riley Sager book, I read The House Across the Lake, another adult thriller. I promise not all of these are thrillers. I gave that 3 stars. I don't even know. This book was just crazy. It is about a girl named Casey. She is a recovering alcoholic. She is at a lake, the same lake that her husband drowned in prior. She's at this lake to basically face what happened because ever since he passed away, she has just been drowning herself in alcohol. She's an actress, but she lost her job because she showed up completely drunk, and her mom is like, enough is enough. You need to face what happened with your husband. So she goes to this lake, and that's where she meets a lady named Kate. She's a supermodel, and she's across the lake with her husband Tom, and Casey basically starts stalking them across the lake with these huge binoculars that were her husband. And while she's stalking them, she realizes that Tom seems very abusive to Kate, or Catherine Royce. He seems very abusive to her, and she figures this out by stalking them, like I said. And then Catherine goes missing, and Casey feels as though it's her duty to figure out what happened to Catherine since, you know, she's been stalking her. She also did save Catherine's life the first day that she met because Catherine was drowning in the water. Catherine feels like she owes it to her to figure out what happened, but Tom can't be trusted. There are a few other people at the lake, but Casey doesn't want people to think she's crazy because she was spying on them. I know an officer, but the officer is not super helpful because of the way Casey's finding out information. Casey takes it upon herself to solve the case. I gave it 3 stars, mainly because the ending was so ridiculous. It made me laugh out loud, like full on cackle, because I'm like, what is going on? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I actually have a reading vlog with this book if you want to check it out. Then I read Make a Scene by Mimi Grace. I gave this 3.5 stars. It's an adult romance. It is about a girl named Retta. She needs a date to her cousin's wedding because her cousin is marrying her ex-boyfriend. She plans on showing up unbothered, and her way of doing that is showing up with a date. She starts fake dating a guy that works next to her. She owns a bakery, he owns a gym. They start fake dating, and it's just a cute little story. I enjoyed it a lot. Enemies by Tajan. This is a new adult romance. I gave this 1.5, 2 stars. Oh my goodness, this book really threw me for a loop, okay? It took me on a trip. It's about a girl named Dusty. She finishes community college, transfers to a university, and this town that the university is in is where her arch nemesis, Stone Revis, lives. I don't even know where to start. She just comes from a really tough life, and her life just seems to get worse whenever Stone re-enters her life. Basically ghosted her when they were younger because he was becoming a big football star, so he forgot about his childhood best friend. Dusty's mom died of cancer when she was younger, and Stone wasn't around for that either. After her mom died, her dad remarried 3 months later to a lady named Gail. She has a stepbrother now. She's not really close with them. She goes to this university, and Gail is constantly calling Stone, telling Stone and Dusty to reconcile and be friends, even though she knows that Stone and Dusty do not get along. But something happens, a very tragic event that makes Dusty kind of rely on Stone, and that's kind of how they start talking again and fall in love with each other. I have a lot of issues with this book. I didn't like Stone. I don't like anything about him. Not a single thing about him. He's rude, he's arrogant, he's controlling, and he's possessive. That's not the kind of mailman character I like. Dusty just seems like she just bowed down to his every request. I couldn't. I was like, I've got to get out of this book. And the one thing I liked about this book, they ruined. Then I read If You Could See the Sun by Anne Liang. This is a YA fantasy. No, it's not. This is a YA romance with magical realism. It follows a girl named Alice. She's in her senior year of high school. She goes to a international school in Beijing, China, but it is a very expensive school, and her parents cannot pay for it anymore. They let her know. They say either paid for the first semester, that's fine, but the last semester of school, you either need to go back to America and live with your aunt and go to school there, or go to a public school in Beijing. Alice understands because her parents aren't rich, but she does not want to leave this school because this school is what gives people a lot of opportunities to go to a good college so she can get a good degree and give back to her parents. And like I said, this is magical realism, so Alice one day starts turning invisible. No one can see her. They can hear her, feel her, but nobody can see her. She tells her academic rival, Henry Lee, that's the first person she tells because she thinks he would have a solution to this. He does not have a solution to this. She's trying to figure out why she's turning invisible, and one thing about Alice is she's always actually felt invisible. Basically, like, you know, the point of the story, the greater point of the story. She uses this as an opportunity to make money. Henry is the son of an app developer, so she asked Henry if he can develop an app where it's anonymous. She can carry out a task that she can do while invisible. It's a lot of money doing this because the people at her school, they are the kids of rich parents, so they have lots of money to spend, lots of secrets, lots of things they don't want people to know. So Alice helps out a lot of her classmates, and she also does a lot of things that aren't necessarily legal as well for the greater good of her getting to stay at the school and help her parents. Like, I see why she did it, but some of the things I'm like, girl. So YA romance, partners in crime trope, I don't know. Eventually Alice learns that not all money is good money and everything comes with a price. Really enjoyed it. I gave that 4 stars as well. The Lies of Lena, that does not sound like 14 books, but Goodreads said I've read 14 books. Hold on. I don't know why Goodreads says I've read 14 books. I've read 12 books, but it put a random, I've read 12 books this year, not 14. I thought I was on track for my Goodreads goal, but I'm actually 3 books behind. I've read 12 of 60 books. Okay, anyways, the latest book I read is The Lies of Lena by Kylie Snow, book 1 of the Octation Chronicles. This is a romantasy. Lena, she is a mage, and being a mage is illegal. The king of Tovagoth does not like mages, does not like magic, so her and her mom have to hide who they are, hide their identities, live in secret. Lena's been okay with this because she doesn't want to die, so she's kind of just been okay with suppressing magic, does not want to learn it. Her mom kind of was like, would be a good idea to learn something, but Lena does not want to learn anything, does not want to put herself at risk. One day, her and her mom, they sell baked goods. So they live in the outer ring, which is the poorest part of the kingdom. That's where they live, but they would go into the inner ring to sell baked goods to these people because they pay good money for them. And one day when Lena is selling baked goods, she runs into a guy named Quill, and her and Quill start hanging out very often after that. She learns magic, has a light in her eyes since she's met Quill. Now she wants to go to school and be around more people because she's like, hey, everybody's not that bad. She senses something is off about Quill. There is a secret that he's hiding. She feels bad because she's also hiding something too. Whose secret was bigger? Honestly, when it comes to this, I'm not sure. They're both hiding pretty big secrets. I didn't enjoy the book at first. The romance was overpowering a lot of the fantasy, but when it became mainly about fantasy, I really loved the book. I feel like the pace picked up a lot. It was just super enjoyable to read. I also did not like Quill, the love interest, so I think that was a good part of the reason why I was not a fan of the book. There's a lot of lies, a lot of secrets, a lot of betrayals. It's called The Lies of Lena for a reason. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think I'll continue the series. 12 books. Those are the first 12 books that I've read this year. If I rate it 4 stars and above, I would recommend it. Anything under that is like a, you know, if you want to take that risk kind of deal. Now we're going to talk about my April TBR. I have 6 books here on my April TBR, and I'm just going to go in no specific order. First is Lonely Castle and the Mirror by Mizuki Sugimura, but this is another magical realism book. It is translated fiction, translated from Japanese into English. I've heard amazing things about this book. I've had it on my shelf for so long. It's kind of criminal. I finally want to give it a chance and see what I think about it. The Prison Healer by Lynette Money. This is a YA fantasy. I don't know anything about it. I'll be going into this completely blind. Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. Another book that I don't know about that I'm just going into blind. I've decided that I'm just gonna start with the newest thing that an author has written and forget about a backlist. This book is pretty. It looks really good. I'm gonna trust the vibes of that because not sure why I bought this. Remember when I was younger, my mom would take me to the bookstore. I would find a random book because I like the cover, get it, read it, and fall in love with it. I have not done that in so long, and that is exactly what I did. I went to the bookstore, thought this cover was pretty. I'd heard of the author, of course, but I don't know anything about it, and I just want to give it a chance. I want to find my own book, you know? He's still up there, y'all. Anywho, Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I've started this, read 50% and never finished it. I really liked it though. I cannot remember why I didn't finish this book. This is a YA paranormal romance. It's about a girl who falls in love with death. I don't think that I got to the part where that happened. Like, I don't even remember. Then I have Malice by John Gwynne. This is an adult fantasy. I've been wanting to read his books for a while. I'm starting with this series because someone I work with actually recommended this. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna trust you. I gotta tell you if it's good or not. Now the pressure is on. The pressure is on for me to like the book. The pressure is on for them to have recommended a book that I would like. The pressure is on for everybody. Okay, I love that. He dedicated this book to his children and his wife. Love the map. Oh my goodness, I love that map. Okay, then I have An Heir Comes to Rise by Chloe C. Peñaranda. This is the first in a 6-book series, 5 or 6 books. Honestly, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it. I don't care. I have all the books. The author, I follow her on Instagram. I love all the updates she gives for her books. And I'm like, you know what? Let me give her a chance. I have The Last Children of Tokyo by Yoko Kawada. It's a dystopian novel. 100 years old and counting, he's one of Japan's many old elderly men and women who remember a time before air and sea were poisoned. Before a terrible catastrophe prompted Japan to shut itself off from the rest of the world, Yoshiro may live for decades yet, but he knows his beloved grandson, born frail and prone to sickness, might not survive to adulthood. This is the book where it's like the old people are the ones living longer and the young people are dying because of the illness. This is another translated fiction, translated from Japanese to English. One of my most anticipated books of the year is Oathbound. I have a reading vlog that I'm rereading Legendborn and Bloodmarked, so to get to this, I'm terrified. I keep seeing people's reaction to the end of this book and I'm scared because there's one more book after this. Y'all, I'm scared. Not scared, scared. Tracy Deonn, oh my goodness, she broke my heart in Bloodmarked. If what I think might happen in Oathbound happens, we may not make it to book 4. Because one thing about me, if my favorite character dies, I'm not continuing the series. That goes for movies, TV shows, books. If my favorite character is gone, it takes a lot for me to finish the series. Another thing about me is I'm always convinced in a fantasy book that if my favorite character dies, they'll come back to life because it's fantasy. And I'm disappointed every single time because it never ever happens. Keep reading, they have to come back to life. Because actually, okay, not never happens. Sometimes it does happen. I would say more times than not, it doesn't happen. All right, guys, that was my Q1 reading wrap up and my April TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been, why do I keep looking that way is the question. Like, stop looking at that. And why is the lighting so good right now? And I just looked again. I don't know. Please, someone help me. Lord help me. Thank you so much. Like, moving the camera's gonna move. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you enjoy me. If you do, hit that subscribe button and stay a while. I love to yap about books and I'll see y'all next time. Comment down below what your favorite read of the year has been so far. And if you've read a 5-star read, comment that down below for sure. Bye, guys.